Well, joining me now from suburban Washington is Michael Maloof. He's a former senior strategic analyst at the Pentagon and joins me from Reston, Virginia. Michael, let me begin with what happened in New Orleans. What is the FBI looking at right now? They've clearly determined that this person acted alone. How do they come to that conclusion so quickly?
Well, thanks for having me. There's probably a number of elements here. From the videos and all of his social media, his cell phone, everything. They're looking at all of it. They're going to probably determine that he was probably self-radicalized. And the interesting thing is that normally, if ISIS is indeed involved, they've taken credit for it in the past. That didn't happen this time. And it appears that he had other issues, personal problems, serious personal problems. He was divorced twice, serious financial problems, and he probably found that becoming radicalized was a way of an escape, if you will. They're going to look at this and be sure that there are no connections with ISIS. That's why the intelligence community, along with the law enforcement community, are all actively involved in this. And President Biden has ordered that that both intelligence and law enforcement scour everything to see if there are any connections. But the fact that ISIS has not claimed credit to date suggests to me that he was probably self-radicalized. And
how hard is it to combat self-radicalization, to combat homegrown threats like this?
Well, it's my understanding that he had so much on his social media, and actually threatening the way he did, talking about wanting to kill his family, but then expressing allegiance to ISIS. All of that is supposed to be monitored by law enforcement. They missed it. And I think that they're probably going to have to buckle down and really scour these kinds of things to be able to get in front of to be preemptive rather than reactive. And it really shows also that you cannot curb these kinds of things that do happen, and that terrorism, in fact, whether domestic and or international, is still a major threat. And our intelligence and our law enforcement community has been little lax in that, because there have not been any attacks. And as one experienced person said, our 9/11 is waiting for us to be ready for 9/10. In other words, we basically fall back in complacency. We cannot give that up, because we just had open borders. Excuse me, and some 338 terrorists have been picked up at the border as a consequence.
Well, I don't want to.
Under Trump.
Well, Michael, let me ask you. We've also seen this kinds of deadly car rammings before. We saw it in Germany in December. How concerned do you think authorities are? Is this becoming a new pattern? Cars as weapons? Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Vehicles can be a weapon they're for transportation, but they can become a weapon. They are, and we have very little defense from them. What happened down in New Orleans? Why didn't they have, let's say, dump trucks lined back to back to avoid access the way this individual was easily able to get around temporary barriers? So I think all of this is going to have to be reevaluated. It clearly shows laxity in being alert to terrorists. I might add one other thing. Individuals have a personal responsibility for their own situational awareness. We don't see that. You see people walking around with earphones, walking in the middle of the street, having fun, certainly. But in my background, my kind of training, we were trained never to do that. We were always watching for our situational awareness, looking 360, you don't have to be too
Yeah.
crazy about it, but you need to take personal responsibility for your own survival.
Understood. It is New Year's Eve, and as you said, people were
Right.
having a good time, but vigilance is also very
Absolutely.
important. All right, Michael Maloof, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much.